This is a super important video, and I'm about to do something crazy. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and I hope you are having an amazing day. Real ones will watch this video all the way through, and ultimately this video is about self-love. So if you don't want to watch this all the way through, if you don't want to see this journey, then you can simply click on this video up here, and that will be kind of a summarized version. But real ones, I'd encourage you, stick around. This is super important. Everyone is self-conscious about something. That's just a fact of life because none of us is perfect. And I'm not saying any of this as a pity party. This is more of just background information so you can see the future steps I'm taking. In middle school, I was very self-conscious about being short and about having a high-pitched voice. In fact, I never grew above 5 foot until freshman year. And as those things started going away in high school, I picked up new things that I was self-conscious about. I was self-conscious about the way I looked. I was self-conscious about my hairstyle. And after having some people say some things that maybe weren't intentionally rude, but really were kind of self-deprecating for me, I really started to kind of get in my shell, sort of, and not really want to be around people. And I started thinking of all the ways that I could change myself to be the perfect version of myself. So I'm going to put up on the screen a picture of what I used to look like, and then maybe a picture of what I look like junior year, and then obviously you see how I look now. And this is just after senior year. And so I changed, the first thing I changed was my hair. And then junior year, I got contacts so I wouldn't be wearing glasses. And my braces came off before senior year. And so senior year, I got looking to kind of how I ideally wanted to look like. But it was hard for me because I was still self-conscious. And I would have people come up to me and say, "Oh, you've had such a great glow up. You look so much better now." And I know they meant that as a compliment, but in a way, complimenting someone, saying they've had a glow up, is kind of a double-edged sword, especially for me who still felt self-conscious. Because it came across more as, you used to look super ugly, than, oh, you look so good now. Because I still didn't feel like I looked good. And so, ultimately, recent months, I've really started this journey of self-love. And I've started to appreciate myself for who I am. Because I know that there are aspects of myself that I can't change. There are aspects of all of us that we can't change. And we just have to live with them. And so the only thing that we can change about that situation, that circumstance, is our outlook. If it's going to be positive or if it's going to be negative. And I guarantee you, every day of the week, the positive outlook is the best mentality to take. And so last year, I had a friend for part of like a school charity organization, activity, whatever. He was shaving his head bald. And he was like, "You should join me. In fact, I will give you $100 if you shave your head bald." And I didn't, because I was worried about what other people would think about me. And so that's the background, that's the context for where we're at today. Because if I could share any message, I don't think that changing yourself is bad. I don't think it's something negative. In fact, I think it's really positive to be able to change yourself. But there's something that has to happen first. You have to love yourself for who you truly are. And that is something that I never got to do. Because I buried my true self away under curly hair, under contacts, getting my braces off. I never learned to love myself for who I was. And because of that, I don't think I can fully love myself for who I am now. And so that's where we're at right now. And that's why I'm about to shave my head. And that may not sound crazy to you, but I've built up a lot of my self-esteem and a lot of my self-image in this. And I know it's minuscule. I know it's minutia. I'm about to go to a church camp today, and I'll be at church camps for the next week. I know people are going to say stuff about it. I'm probably going to get made fun of. But I need to learn to love myself, because once I've cut my hair off, there's no going back. I have to The only thing I can change at that point is my outlook, whether I have a positive one or a negative one. And so I get that this is kind of rambling, but there's so much that I want to get out to you. And if I could share a message with you, it would be, you don't have to shave your head. But look at yourself right now. Look at the things that you're so focused on. The color of your eyes, maybe. The shape and size of your ears. Your nose, your mouth. Anything about yourself. And realize that you ultimately can't change that. And maybe that's a good thing. Other people can love you for who you are without you having to change every single thing about you. And so that would be my message to you. To love yourself. To take a look at yourself right now. Don't shave your head bald unless you want to. But take a look at yourself right now and truly spend the next however long learning to love yourself. I rarely will tell you outright to do things, and I will never tell you to do something without leading by example. And so that's why I'm shaving my head bald, because even though it may impact and have a negative impact on how people view me, it may have a negative impact on how I view myself at first, I'm going to learn to love myself. And if I ever get caught in this trap again where I'm hating myself, hating the way I look, I'm going to shave it all off again. I'm going to restart. This is a blank slate where I can take this journey over this summer, over the rest of my life, and learn to love me, the true Jonas. The Jonas that isn't just copying trends of fashion and hairstyles and things like that to fit in, who isn't hiding behind this mask of who he isn't actually because he's worried that other people will think that he's weird. I'm going to be myself so that I can love myself. And that's what I want for you. I know it's hard, but it is so worth it. It's going to be so worth it. And so, if you'll wait right here, I will be back in a very short time lapse. And now, I'm back. If there's one thing that I've learned from this past, I guess it's just been a couple seconds for you guys, is that it doesn't matter. I am the same Jonas I was before I got my hair cut off. My personality hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is my physical appearance. And so don't be afraid to take this first step and change the rest of your life. It's such a small thing in comparison to being able to love yourself. And so please, I'd invite you to do something akin to this. It doesn't have to be this. But please realize your own worth and love yourself. Because you don't give yourself enough credit for how great you really are.